You know, I used to think that to have a beautiful outdoor space, you needed acres of land. I was so wrong. Over the years, I've learned that tiny yards have a special kind of magic. They force you to be intentional. You can't just throw things around. Every plant, every board, every stone has to earn its place. I remember standing in this tiny yard before we started, and it hit me. I felt completely exposed. It's that weird feeling you get when you're on your own porch, but you know the mailman, the neighbors walking their dog, and everyone driving by can see exactly what you're doing. Here is the insight I wish I had years ago. Privacy isn't about hiding from the world. It's about framing your view of it. When I stopped thinking about building a wall to block everything out and started thinking about creating a screen to filter the world, everything changed. Okay, I have to be honest with you because I want you to learn from my mistakes. On one of my very first projects, I got so excited that I dug a post hole without checking for utilities. I was lucky, I missed a gas line by about 3 inches. The terror I felt in that moment still gives me chills. I talk about this a lot, but good fences make good neighbors only works if the fence is actually good. I've seen people build these massive, imposing structures that just scream, "Go away." It creates tension. For this project, I was hyper-aware of the view from the other side. Can we talk about cedar for a minute? I love this material so much. When you cut it, that smell fills the air. It smells like a forest, like summer, like possibility. But beyond the romance of it, I choose cedar because it respects time. It doesn't rot. It doesn't warp. I have to admit, setting posts is my least favorite part. There's so much anxiety in it. You mix the concrete, you drop the post in, and then you have those terrifying minutes where you're holding this heavy piece of wood, balancing a level on it, hoping it doesn't move while the concrete hardens. I am currently obsessed with horizontal slats. There's something about them that just feels so calming to my brain. Maybe it's because they mimic the horizon line, or maybe it's just because they feel modern without being cold. I want to share a little story about perfectionism. For years, my gaps between slats were never consistent, and it drove me crazy. Then an old carpenter taught me the spacer trick. Now, I keep a pocket full of little wooden blocks cut to the exact width I need. This might sound a little obsessive, but I can't stand seeing screw heads. To me, they look like acne on a beautiful face. So we took the extra time to run vertical cedar strips down the front of the screen to hide all the hardware. It's a step that most people probably won't even consciously notice. Once the wood was up, I stood back and felt a pang of doubt. It looked great, but it was stiff. It was too rigid. That's when I have a conversation with the space. "Okay," I said, "what do you need?" And the answer was movement. It needed grasses to sway in the wind. I planted a clematis at the base of the screen, and right now, it looks like a sad little stick. My husband asked, "Why didn't we get bigger plants?" And I had to explain that this is the long game. In a world of instant gratification, gardens teach us patience. When you have a tiny yard, depth is your best friend. You have to trick the eye. I think of planting like painting a landscape. You have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. The screen is the background. In front of it, I put the tall, airy plants, the middle ground. Okay, this is my favorite part of the entire makeover. It's the mulch. I call it the makeup moment. You can have the best structure and the healthiest plants, but if the ground is bare dirt or full of weeds, it looks unfinished. The moment that fresh, dark mulch goes down, it's like magic. As we were laying down this beautiful new cedar, I had a flashback to my first apartment. I had no money for lumber. So I went behind a warehouse and asked for old pallets. I pulled them apart with a crowbar, fighting with rusty nails, and built my first privacy screen. I have to confess, I have a soft spot for reed and willow fencing. It's the romantic in me. It reminds me of English cottage gardens where everything is a little wild and a little whimsical. If you're renting and you can't build something permanent, a roll of reed fencing is your best friend. In a tiny yard, floor space is a luxury you don't have. So you have to look up. I love vertical gardens for this reason. Imagine a wall of pocket planters filled with ferns and trailing ivy. It becomes a living tapestry. Not only does it block the view of the street, but it also draws your eye upward, which makes the whole space feel taller and less cramped. There's a fine line between cozy and claustrophobic. In a very small space, a solid wood wall can tip you over that line. That's when I turn to lattice. I love lattice because it gives you that peekaboo effect. You feel shielded, but you're not suffocated. This might be my most controversial opinion, but I think every covered porch should have outdoor curtains. There is something so decadent about fabric outdoors. It feels soft. It feels cozy. It moves. On a hot day, you can tie them back to catch the breeze. We spent so much time looking at the screen and the plants, but I almost forgot to look down. The path to your door is the first thing your feet touch. If it's cracked, weedy, and dirty, it sets a tone. We spent an afternoon just cleaning the old pavers, sweeping in new sand, and power washing the concrete. If you want to extend your day and your happiness, invest in lighting. There is a moment, just as the sun goes down, when the world turns blue. That's the golden hour for lighting. When we turned on those warm string lights woven through the screen for the first time, I actually got emotional. Standing in the finished space, I felt this overwhelming sense of peace. I remembered how anxious and exposed I felt standing in the same spot just days before. Now, I was hidden. I was cozy. The sound of the street was muffled by the plants, and the view was filtered through beautiful wood slats. I'll be honest, I'm a little lazy when it comes to maintenance. I don't want a yard that demands all my weekend time. So here's my lazy girl advice: let the cedar go gray. Don't fight it. If you don't stain it, you don't have to restine it. And for the plants, I put down a thick layer of mulch to suppress weeds. As I lock up and walk away from this project, I hope you take one thing away from this video. Your front yard, no matter how tiny, is the handshake of your home. It's the first thing you see when you come home tired, and the last thing you see when you leave for the day.